Wow. Now that was truly something with a little something else. Man. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, Hitman Cause, as usual, welcome to the official Hell in a Cell 2022 review. Man, I'm still taken aback, but of course, I'm not alone in this endeavor. Please welcome the humble man, Gary. Gary, welcome to the contracts.
Yo, 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 my man Cos Painting, what's good, yo. That was crazy.
Yeah, hell of an event. Well, let's get through it. To start things off, Bianca Belair defended the Raw Women's title against Asuka and Becky Lynch. Uh, One recurring thing that we saw was that Becky Lynch kept trying to sneak in the back door, and like every time there was a big move, she kept trying to throw either Bianca or Asuka out of the ring so she could get the pinfall without having to do the work. Now y'all keep that in mind as we continue to talk about the match. But this match well was 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 all over the place, man.
Most def, it really was. Sorry to cut you, my man, but yeah, it really was. It was actually a good match, too.
Yep. Uh, and with all the close calls and shit, there was so many times where I thought it was gonna be over. It, but either there was a kick out or someone kept breaking up the pinfall. It was so wild, you know. Uh, like, like I legit was getting nervous that my prediction was not gonna come true.
Right. That shit was crazy, man. Good match, though.
Yeah. And then, as fate would have it, thankfully my prediction did come true, because Bianca did retain, but she did it in a very interesting way. She turned the tables on Becky Lynch, because if y'all were paying attention earlier to what I said about what Becky was doing, Bianca actually one upped her and did it herself, throwing Becky out of the ring and pinning Asuka.
Word.
And but you know, Becky's gonna find some way to complain about this on Raw.
That's crazy.
Just cause I know she is. You know. Moving on, we had Bobby Lashley face off against MVP and Omos. I really wasn't paying attention to this match much because, again, I lost interest in this match. But from what I saw, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, that's a fact. It wasn't really that bad.
Almost did get to showcase some more skill he possessed. I'll admit, I really didn't like that spot where he shoved Lashley through the barricade, because that move looked very weak. It didn't look convincing.
Yeah, I see why you say that. Honestly, I do.
Like, if he was to make it look convincing, I say either hit him with like a big clothesline or something, or a big running splash or something. Hell, even take one out of Bobby's book and do a spear.
Exactly.
But fortunate for Bobby, he eventually was able to create enough space to which he was able to get MVP alone, but also during the match, we had a bit of interference from Cedric Alexander, who tried to attack Omos. Reason why he did so is because he tried to talk strategy with MVP and Omos. However, MVP pieced him out. So Sheriff told him it's over. You know, we're done. That's it. So he interfered in a match for under his own volition.
Right.
But it was his distraction that allowed Lashley to take over, to which he speared Omos and then put MVP in the hurt lock, and MVP tapped and Lashley won. Now, and there was a bit of foreshadowing after the match where Bobby Lashley actually took a replica title from a fan and held it up.
Exactly.
Hopefully this means that he will have a match with Roman for the WWE title, and hopefully he'll take it from him.
Honestly speaking, I want either one to hold that. Either my boy Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the head of the table, my boy Cos Payne, you gotta acknowledge him.
Acknowledge his nuts.
Hell no, either my boy Roman Reigns hold it or my boy Bobby Lashley, the Almighty, gets it. I love them both, so I want either one to win.
Yeah. Well. First off, we gotta worry about if that match would even happen. So, we're getting ahead of ourselves right now. But even still, it's wishful thinking, and you know, it still might happen.
Right.
Moving on. This was interesting. Kevin Owens versus Ezekiel. Kevin Owens had been torturing himself pretty much since Ezekiel's debut, trying to show people, swearing to people up and down that Ezekiel is Elias, and of course, you know, Ezekiel swearing that that's not the case, you know, but it is what it is. Surprisingly, Kevin Owens won.
Yeah. It was a shocker.
And it's pretty convincing. What's his face? Ezekiel tried to go for a top rope move only to get hit with a knee from Kevin Owens, followed by a super kick, and finally a stunner to end it all. Now, hopefully for KO, he'll now leave them alone.
Right.
And he can get back to focusing on more important stuff.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah. Moving on, this match, up until the main event showed, this match was arguably the match of the night. Minus the main event. We had the Judgment Day versus Finn Balor, AJ Styles, and Liv Morgan. Now, if you thought that the Raw Women's Championship match was 1,000 miles a minute, you ain't seen jack yet.
Correct.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. Before we talk about that, there was a match that was supposed to be scheduled for Hell in a Cell that didn't happen.
I think I know the match you're talking about. That's the Women's Championship match, SmackDown one.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell happened.
Ronda Rousey was supposed to defend the SmackDown Women's title against Natalya.
Exactly.
Yeah. What happened? Did they run out of time, or did they just cut, or did it get cut?
Exactly. That's what I'm wondering.
It probably got cut.
Right.
Wow. Like I'm just realizing that now.
Right.
Whatever. They're probably gonna have it on SmackDown. So hey,
Probably.
that'll be 2 title matches for SmackDown.
Right.
Anyways, back to the 6-person tag match. Again, if y'all thought that the Raw Women's Championship match was 1,000 miles a minute, you ain't seen jack yet until you saw this match.
Yeah.
Everyone was going crazy in this match.
Yeah, that's
Of course, to start things off, Edge was dicking around to make sure that he didn't get in the match. More importantly, he didn't let AJ get his hands on him.
exactly.
Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley had new attires befitting Judgment Day. Rhea Ripley, for the first time in a long time, was wearing short tights.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
But both of them were wearing black and purple just to match Edge.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And there's one thing I gotta say, even though it has nothing to do with the match. For those of you marks who don't remember where Damian Priest was before he was in WWE, they made reference to it with his nickname, the Punisher. A shout out to his old ring name before joining WWE, Punishment Martinez.
Right, exactly.
Anyways, moving on to the match. Honestly, people, including myself and the Humble Man, thought somebody from the opposite team was gonna turn on them and join the Judgment Day. That didn't happen, but a great encounter was going on. In the closing moments of the match, it looked like Edge was in the drop zone.
Right.
But that is until Rhea Ripley got in the ring, and then of course, because this is current WWE, not old WWE, Finn wouldn't dare try and attack Rhea Ripley, at least not on purpose.
Exactly.
But that's where Liv Morgan came in to attack her. But while they attacked her, it distracted Finn long enough to where he attempted the coup de grace, but he missed and also stumbled and left himself wide open for the spear. And like that, the Judgment Day reigned supreme.
Right.
I'd say at this point, Judgment Day is further proving themselves to be a dominant force on Raw, and
that is the truth.
And I'd say, and I don't know, maybe this feud might be over. I don't know, maybe.
Exactly.
Honestly, I hope it is, but hey, only time will tell.
Yeah, we shall see.
Moving on, we had Madcap Moss against Happy Corbin in a no-holds-barred match. Let me say this. Even though his name is Happy, for the past few weeks, in his entrances, Corbin hasn't smiled once.
Right.
And honestly, given what happened in this match, I think he might undergo a character change. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, this match was a little extreme. Corbin, as usual, was a heat magnet, and I especially enjoyed him taunting the crowd by thinking of using weapons, only to choose not to. But that was before they were getting down to business. Once they did, he brought everything he had. At one point, I thought he was about to win, but Madcap stuck around. And I'll be honest, when Madcap changed up his attire, I thought he was gonna go back to being Riddick Moss, but that ain't the case. Not that it matters, but yeah. Madcap, in the end, actually returned the favor to what Corbin did to him when it came to putting a chair in his head and shit. He did the same thing, except instead of dropping the trophy on him, he dropped steel steps on him. So with Corbin being stretchered out, I can only imagine that this is going to be a cover-up for him taking time off and then coming back maybe as the Lone Wolf, I hope. Maybe, I don't know. But he'll definitely, but if they sell this correctly, then he's gonna be off TV for a while, whereas Moss will stay on TV, further build himself up as a star, and yeah.
Exactly, that's a fact.
And moving on, we had Theory defend the United States title against Mustafa Ali, who this night was the hometown hero. And the real question that lied within was he gonna do it for the hometown, or would he be a victim of the hometown curse?
That's crazy. Honestly, the match was going kind of good, but there was the outcome of it. I mean, you want to say it or?
Well, I mean, before then, because first off, they made a big deal out of Mustafa Ali being the hometown hero, because they announced him as Chicago's own before his music played and he came out. Secondly, he wore a Chicago Bulls-esque shirt, and his tights had the Illinois flag on it.
Right.
And honestly, with all that on him, I thought he was gonna go over.
Word, man.
Which, no offense to him, I was hoping it wasn't, and thankfully that was not the case. Early on in the match, he injured his knee. Storyline wise, he injured his knee, but to which that played a role, sorta, later on in the match, where actually no, it didn't really, but in the end, I hate using it. This really shouldn't apply because this isn't Finn Balor, but Theory was put into the drop zone, but when it came to doing the 450 splash, Ali crashed and burned hard, and then that left him wide open to get hit with A-Town down, and like that, still United States champion Theory, and then also Mustafa Ali was a victim of the hometown curse.
Right.
Sure, I know he's young, but I still feel that Mustafa Ali is deserving of a lot more. In theory, he's really, I don't care what anybody says about him. He's really growing up to be a tremendous competitor, and if all signs point to where they probably will, then he might be one of the best United States champions ever. Of course, that's gonna take some time for him to live up to that, but we'll see.
Right, of course. And that's crazy. I mean, yeah, both wrestlers are great. So for real, I agree with what you were saying, bro.
Yeah. Moving on to the main event, we had Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins in a Hell in a Cell match. Now, there was a big asterisk going into this match, to which Cody was injured. Um, I only found this out about. I only found out about this because of some wrestling rumors. And I'll say this. Yeah, he tore his pectoral muscle during his fight with Rollins. Now, I understand, you know, you always got to train hard in the paint, all that good stuff. But his training cost him because while Cody was training, he aggravated the minor injury, and the minor injury became a major injury, and it showed because, I mean, for the most part, when he was wearing his coat, we thought, well, myself and the Humble Man thought we thought we saw a minor bruise. Next thing you know, he takes off the coat. It's a major bruise.
Yeah, man, that was really, I don't know what to say.
And it's crazy because, like, the bruise looked so bad, the crowd couldn't even, like, for a good minute, the crowd couldn't get into the match because they saw how bad the injury was, and I can only imagine that they, like us, were concerned for Cody's health.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And don't get me wrong, you know, I give any and all wrestlers, especially Cody, all the respect in the world for wrestling while injured, but I don't condone it. I respect it, but I don't condone it.
Right.
Because just like what happened with him during the brawl and during practice, he runs the risk of aggravating the injury and making it worse. You know.
Yeah, for real, man. That's crazy too.
But
it was a great match, though.
Yeah, it was excellent. Despite his injury, this dude Cody showed so much heart. Like he had the heart of a lion in this match. Despite being injured, he still kept on for a long, lengthy match with Rollins, and it was all good. And hey, freaking, I thought it was funny how, like, for the whole night the crowd was saying we want tables, and no one listened to them and got the tables. And if anything, Corbin teased them only to piss them off. To which Rollins actually did get the tables, and the crowd started chanting, "Thank you, Rollins."
Exactly.
But anyway, going to the closing moments of the match, Seth hit Crossroads, to which then Cody ate it and then hit Crossroads of his own. And then he took the sledgehammer, chased Seth Rollins, to which Rollins hit him with the curb stomp. But that wasn't it because it took too long to get the pin. And eventually, Cody did regain the upper hand. Hit two Crossroads consecutively, the pedigree, and then cracked Rollins in the head one with the sledgehammer to get the win. And with the third and final match in the books, you have to think this is it for the feud with Rollins and Rhodes. And of course, you know, at this point, you don't have a choice because the boy tore his pectoral muscle.
Right, that was crazy too.
Like, oh man. Like, honestly, Cody's in-ring skill has greatly improved since his time away, and it shows, you know. But the only thing I want right now from him is just to heal up, rest up, fix that. Fix your arm, whatever's wrong with it, and then on top of that, just be cool.
Exactly.
And you know, with that being said, that's gonna do it for this episode of Other Contracts. Definitely want to thank each and every one of y'all for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and chill with me and the Humble Man. Definitely want to thank the Humble Man for coming through as always and kicking his wrestling knowledge.
You already know it. You know it. You know what's going on all the time. You know where we at.
Yeah. If you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead, hit the like button, comment if you feel like it, and YouTube channel, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. And as always, by way of Struggle Vision Productions, this is Hitman and the Humble Man, and we out. Peace.
Yes, sir. Peace. See, we out of here, yo. Peace. We out of this bitch.